Hello, everybody. I'm Rand Northam, the Interim Communications Manager.
And I'm Maurice Jones, the Town Manager for the Town of Chapel Hill.
We're here to join you today to discuss the September 2020 meetings of the Town Council. And of course, Mr. Jones, we've been continually updating the community and the Council on our response to the COVID-19 pandemic as we are currently in that. And recently, the most recent changes have been regarding the governor's changes and how the county now is more in line with all the different aspects of the governor's order.
Yeah, the most significant change recently is the county leaders from the towns of Chapel Hill and Carrboro, Hillsborough, and of course Orange County have decided to move to from 10 and 25, 10 people indoors for a gathering and 25 outdoors for a gathering, moving that number from 10 and 25 to 25 and 50 to be more aligned with what we're seeing at the state level. Of course, the governor just moved to phase 3, and the council felt it was a good idea to become more aligned with what we're seeing there, hoping that folks will understand that we're taking this step. We've been very fortunate here in Chapel Hill in recent weeks to see our positivity rates drop to a level that allowed our folks to feel a little more comfortable with moving to 25 and 50. But once again, hoping that we won't have some complacency surrounding that folks will continue to adhere to the guidelines that are in place and just continue to do the types of things we need to do to keep everyone as safe as possible during this pandemic.
And of course, we're heading into flu season. We're in it now, so we'd be remiss if we didn't remind everybody to get their flu shots, and you'll be hearing that messaging from the town of Chapel Hill over the next weeks and all the way through winter as well. One thing that did take place on the consent agenda was that the town council officially named Juneteenth as an official town holiday.
They did. The council felt that it was important to send a message in these very difficult times about racial reconciliation in our community, in addition to the task force that the council has put together, which we'll talk about in just a moment. They felt that they wanted to take an affirmative stance on highlighting the importance of African American history, and Juneteenth obviously is an important date in African American history and American history because that was the date in which the final slaves were freed in the state of Texas after the word got out after the Civil War ended. And so it will be officially recognized as a town holiday beginning in June of next year. So the council is very excited about that opportunity and looking forward to starting a new tradition to celebrate Juneteenth here in Chapel Hill.
And as you mentioned, the town council is working on this new Reimagining Community Safety Task Force. We've been hearing a lot about it over a number of meetings, all the way from in the summer when it was first developed, and now that task force will be beginning to do some work here in the next few weeks and into the next months.
Yeah, that's correct, Rand. The task force has been appointed by the council. They look to have their first meeting in the next couple of weeks to start their work with the goal of having some recommendations, at least some near-term recommendations, back to the council by March 1st of next year. We've also put out a request for proposal to get a consultant in who would provide additional support for this task force as they begin their work to look at different ways that we can conduct public safety here in Chapel Hill that would be equitable and would include a variety of folks who would be at the table to look at the way we do our business here when it comes to community safety. We're very fortunate in that we have a strong police department that has been committed to working with our community and building our community up. But I think in light of what happened with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor over the summer in other parts of the country, this is a good opportunity for us to take a look at what we're doing and see how we can enhance that and improve that and look for ways to contribute to community safety that go well beyond just law enforcement. Are there other ways that we can help people who are in need get the help that they need without the involvement of our police department? And so that's going to be an important part of what we do as we move forward with this task force, is to look at the programs and the policies that we currently have in place when it comes to law enforcement, and then what we can do to enhance those and improve those, make a stronger community together.
And finally, one item that stretched across a number of meetings in September is that of the Rosemary Deck, a public-private partnership on East Rosemary Street that includes land swaps and multiple developments. So tell us a little bit about that, and specifically what the community might be seeing now in the next, are we going to see something in the next 6 months? Is it going to be the next year? And that project there.
Sure. This is a project that we've been working on since December of last year, having conversations with the council and the public about it. And the proposal is that the town would swap property that's currently the Wallace Deck on East Rosemary Street for the property that is currently the CVS Deck, and then another property that's adjacent to that. Once that exchange is done, the town would start working towards building a 1,100 space parking garage on that new property of ours. And then at some point in the very near future, Grubb Properties, who we would be exchanging land with, would build a new office space, new office building on East Rosemary Street, about a 200,000 square foot office building that could bring upwards of 800 jobs into our downtown. A very complicated deal here with a lot of moving pieces. But I think a deal that could really benefit the town with additional jobs in our downtown, the creation of kind of a new innovation district for us with the renovation of the 136, 137 building on that same stretch of area there on both East Rosemary and on Franklin Street. And then, it also helps to consolidate some of our parking in our downtown. We do need additional parking based on previous parking studies, and this will help support the new projects and then future projects as well in downtown. And the goal is to not only have those jobs in the downtown, but to see that those jobs translate into kind of a ripple effect of economic improvement for that portion of our downtown. So we think this is a pretty exciting project. The council approved both the economic development agreement and the land exchange. And of course, an important part of this due diligence that we'll be doing on this project is to analyze the traffic impact of the projects. TIA was done. That is now being updated with some new information, and we should have the results of that TIA soon. In addition, there'll be a lot of work that will be done over the course of the next 6 to 7 months or so to prepare that area for construction. We'll need to finalize the agreement with Grubb Properties, and then officially purchase the land that is adjacent to the CVS Deck. And then at that point, we'll continue to move forward with the project with the hope of starting construction in late spring of 2021. So we're excited about this project. As I mentioned before, I think it's going to bring a lot of economic vitality into our downtown. We'll see an improved streetscape along East Rosemary Street. We'll see a couple of pocket parks that will be built as part of this, some new green space in our downtown. So it's really an exciting opportunity for the town of Chapel Hill. And we also anticipate that the office building will be going through an entitlement process over the course of the next year, with the hope of having it finalized in the fall of next year and construction beginning soon after that. So a lot to look forward to with this project over the course of the next year and a half, 2 years.
Well, this is just a highlight of some of the items that came before council in September meetings. October meetings already underway, and we invite you to follow along with us. You can find this and more news at townofchapelhill.org/news, and you can get this information sent directly to you. We invite you to subscribe at townofchapelhill.org/sign-up. Until next time, we thank you for joining us, and take care of yourself.
Take care.